In the Kherson region, the command of the 80th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade of the Russian Armed Forces is simply zeroing out the personnel of its units, throwing them into meat assaults on the Dnieper Islands. The TG channel reports Ukrainian partisan movement Atesh with reference to Russian servicemen from the aforementioned brigade. It is emphasized that the command is giving frankly destructive orders, setting the soldiers the task of gaining a foothold on the Dnieper Islands at any cost. The recent assaults have once again ended in complete failure. The losses during the latest assaults in the area of Golubov Liman Island amounted to 26 people killed and more than 20 wounded, the report notes. Unreasonable orders drive ordinary servicemen of the Russian armed forces to despair. There is a massive unwillingness to carry out orders in units. It is also emphasized that the dead Russians are not being evacuated from the zero area, and the wounded are not being provided with timely assistance, which significantly reduces the morale of the personnel of the aforementioned brigade. Recently, agents noted that servicemen of the 80th Motorized Rifle Brigade of the Russian Armed Forces have suffered losses similar to those suffered by the occupiers during training on the crossing water obstacles in the Kherson region. Recruits are sent there from a training camp in the so-called Crimea to prepare for the assaults on the Dnieper Islands. It is also known that the training is conducted in a tough mode. Soldiers in full gear are loaded into a boat and driven at full speed down the Dnieper, as a result of which many fall out and drown. The commanders don't even try to save them. The number of dead Russian servicemen is already in the dozens, but the training continues. After such training, the newcomers are sent in small groups of 2 to 3 people to storm the islands. There, they are simply thrown ashore, with the task of gaining a foothold without cover and normal evacuation, the report says. The partisans add that because of this, Russian soldiers are not completing their missions and therefore continue to suffer losses. In the process of sending such groups, one commander said, "Well, now your batch will end and the next one will be brought." The movement's agents added,
Another footage of the large-scale offensive of the occupying Russian army near the village of Andriivka in eastern Donetsk region has been released. Fighters from the 33rd, 46th and 148th Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces have repelled the attack by destroying a large number of armored combat vehicles and infantry of the advancing Russian army with artillery and drone strikes. All the vehicles participating in the attack were destroyed by explosions. It should be noted that the occupying Russian army also attempted to advance with armored vehicles towards the village of Novopavlovka in Donetsk region. This attack was also prevented by Ukrainian fighters. Footage has been released from the area around the village of Demidovka in Russia's Belgorod region, where fighting has been underway for more than 2 weeks. Drone footage and footage shared by Telegram channels close to the Russian military show the destruction of dragon teeth barriers on the border. Russian Air Force helicopters regularly fly over the area, where a large number of armored vehicles belonging to both sides have been destroyed. It should be noted that the Ukrainian army crossed the Russian border into the Belgorod region in March and took control of several settlements in the area. Ukrainian troops also destroyed bridges used by the Russian army to transport military supplies in the region, using its main aircraft.